This is a Diablo Sport in-tune i3 tuner, and this is a PT Cruiser. Don't be jealous. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to install a custom tune, run through the steps of putting a canned tune in there. I've got the tuner mounted to a little stand so you can see it better. I'll run through the steps, show you where these tuners shine, and show you where they fall flat. A little bit of backstory on this car. This is a PT Cruiser Turbo, but it doesn't have the stock turbo on it anymore. With the stock tune file, this thing wouldn't even run. So I had to get a custom tune written for this particular car, and you can get custom tunes for any car. So let's get right to it and throw a tune file in there. First thing you're going to need is your OBD plug. You're going to want to find your OBD connector and just put this right in there. I'm using an OBD extension cable because it makes life a little easier. There you go, something like that. And as soon as you install the OBD cable, the Diablo will boot up. Never use the Intune during vehicle operation, do you agree? Yeah. So once it boots up, these are your three main options. You have Tune Vehicle, Scan Tool, and Settings. Settings is where you have Wi-Fi, analog input, so if you want to hook up your wideband and do some data logging, you can do that. Sound, display, advanced options. I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff today, so we're going to hit back. Now you have Tune Vehicle and Scan Tool. If nothing else, if you don't have a code reader, this does work pretty well. If you're doing anything heavily diagnostic, I would invest in your own sole purpose code reader that can do in and outs. So we have show trouble codes, clear codes, data logging. This is where you could select PIDs, go drive the car around, and then download the file on your computer and look at it. I don't think this is the best way to do it. Hooking up a laptop with the Diablo as the interface is a better option if you're into that type of thing. I'm going to save data logging for a different video. This is a basic how to put a tune in your car tutorial, so we'll save that one. So we'll hit back. Now you have clear codes, so if you had codes, you could reset them. Okay, so here's where the good stuff starts. Tune Vehicle. So we have Easy Tune and Advanced Tune. If you click on Easy Tune, you're going to get the CAN files. All right, so you have 93 octane tune, 91. If you click the 93, it'll say things like the Diablo tune is designed to add power and torque. It will vary from vehicle to vehicle. Do you agree? Use selected tune. And then it has some basic options. Do you want to remove the speed limiter? Sure. It's now going to read a backup file. I don't want to put this tune in the car. The canned tunes are okay. They didn't show a marked improvement. It does turn the boost up just a little bit, makes it run a little bit hotter. So it is fun if you don't have a lot of supporting mods on it. If I was running around in a stock SRT4 or a stock PT Cruiser Turbo, 93 tune would be pretty fun to play with. But since I have all these extra parts on there, we need a custom tune file. So you're going to go to Advanced Tune. And now we have install standard tune, which is the 93s, and then install the custom tune. Before we go down this road here, you're going to need to put your custom tune file onto the Diablo. You'll hook up the Diablo to your computer, download the update agent from Holly, and then install your tune file. And I will show you how to do that right now. So you're going to go to their website. This Holly site is the one you want. And you can just select your tuner. You're going to need the software for this. This is what I'm doing. Go to Tuners, pick whichever one you have. So we're going to want Update Agent. It should look like this, Update Agent. And then hook up your tuner to your computer. It's going to power up, do its thing, just let it run. Once it discovers your tuner, it's going to give you this screen. Okay, so now it says your device is up to date. We're going to go find the drive. And so you have i3 right here. This is the custom tune. And instead of putting that in any of these folders, you're just going to dump it right on the front. So as soon as you open it, you're going to want it right here. Don't put it in any other folder. Okay, now you're ready to tune your vehicle. All right, after you have your custom tune installed to your device, this is where we're going to hit Install Custom Tune. And then there it is right there. If I had multiples, it would show a bunch of them. I only have one. This is the Revision A 1025cc 20G 3-bar tune that Duster did for me. I'll put Duster's information in the description. This car runs fantastic. It's going to say, are you sure you want to apply this one? We're going to go yes. Now we have the i3 will read a backup from the vehicle. Tap yes to continue or no to abort. You have to let it run a backup, okay? So if you install your tune file and the car doesn't run, it misfires, there's poor power, you just don't like it, and you want to go back to stock or back to where you were, this is how you have that file to go back to. So make sure you run through it. Make sure when you're doing these tunes that you have a freshly charged battery. You don't want your battery to die halfway through. Probably will be fine, but you run the risk of bricking your ECM. Okay, so it's exporting the file. That's created the backup. Now we have apply tune, modify the parameters, or back it up. So we're going to just go ahead and stick the tune in there, the custom tune file. And I'm going to start a timer. Turn the ignition off. Continue. Turn the ignition on. And now it's going to write the tune. Again, just be patient with it. You'll hear some dash lights go on and off. That's normal. Key off the ignition. Continue. Key it on. Don't start it. Exporting the file. There you go. Tuning complete. So about 1:10 is all it really takes for this. It doesn't take too terribly long. Now it says, tuning complete. You may unplug the tool and enjoy driving your vehicle, or tap continue to reboot. We're gonna just reboot it. While it's booting up, we'll give it a start. And make sure everything sounds good, looks good. That's a sign that you have successfully installed the correct tune file if your engine runs, especially if you have new injectors, new sensors, things like that. Okay, this is the warning. So if you want to modify parameters, this is where the Intune falls a little bit short, and I'll explain. You're gonna go to tune the vehicle, make sure the key is in the run position. It is. Continue. So in order to change parameters, we're gonna go back to the advanced tune, and then we're going to modify the parameters here at the bottom. So here's the things that you can control. Boost control, cooling fans, idle, rev and speed limits, and then wide open fuel, wide open spark, and that's all. Okay, so if you wanted to modify everything, change the whole fuel map, the ignition, totally write a custom tune file, you're not gonna be able to do that with the Diablo. If you wanted to go that route, you gotta go get the licensed software, and then you can actually open it up and change everything. Typically, if you have a Diablo, you're gonna get your tune written for you by somebody that has that licensing software. Okay, so you can't change every little thing on your car with the Diablo. If you want to change parameters to where your engine will blow up, an HP tuner is what you want. This just gives you basic controls. So with this tune, I like to turn the boost up. So we have 1 to 2,000, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. I like to start at 3,000. And so you have add over here and subtract on the right. Okay, so I want to add about 20%. Now you see that negative sign, don't pay any attention to that. For most people, negative would mean you take it away, but just look at the words. Okay, so add and subtract, add and subtract. So I'm gonna add 20% at 3,000. I'm gonna add 20% at 4,000. Then I'm gonna add 20% at 5,000, and then only 10% at 6,000. I hardly ever get on it all the way up to 6,000. Disclaimer, if you're gonna mess with your boost, install a boost gauge before you go crazy with this, because if you can't monitor that and you're trying to push 30 PSI on an engine that can't handle it, you can blow something up. So with any of these parameters that you change, you gotta have the supporting equipment in order to monitor that. Okay, so boost is good. We're gonna go back. I like the fans and the idle where it is. We're gonna change some fuel. So I've already driven this car a lot with this tune in it. I know what I wanna change. I know how it runs well. The wide open fuel, don't ever play with this stuff unless you have a wideband, because if you make your car too lean, you're gonna cause major damage. You're gonna melt pistons and you're not gonna have a good day. I start at 3,000. That's before I ever really roll into the boost. So this car runs pretty rich. So I'm gonna lean it out 10% at 3,000. I'm gonna go to 4,000. I'm gonna lean it out 10%. 5 to 6,000, we're gonna go 10 again. And notice that it says lean, but then I have a positive number here. So a lot of people are gonna think that that would be adding fuel because it's positive, but just worry about what side of the scale it's on. Rich is over here on the left, lean is over here on the right. And then for 6,000, I'm only gonna lean it 5%. I don't want a super lean mixture at a high RPM. So anytime you change this, like I said, I've already run this car for a while. I know where it sits. You change them in small increments. You just do a little bit, drive it around, watch your gauges, do a little bit more, drive it around, a little bit more, drive it around, just fine tune it. Don't do it all in one shot. So we'll go back. I just have to say that, make sure you're careful with this stuff. We got the parameters that we want. Now we're going to apply the tune. Key off the ignition, hit continue, key on, and it's gonna put your parameters in there. Writing tune failed. Interesting. Haven't seen that before. Let's reboot. This thing has never failed on me before, so that's pretty interesting. We'll go through the process again and see if we can figure out what happened. Alright, so this is definitely new. This tool is in recovery mode. Tap yes to restore the original backup. Recommended. Tap no to enter the support. So we're gonna restore the original backup. So case in point, if anything goes wrong, you gotta have a way to go back. Key off the ignition. Key on the ignition. An error occurred while restoring the original backup. Okay, I'm just gonna unplug it. Let it completely shut down. Then I'm gonna start this up and see if it runs. And it does not. All right, we got an issue. That's no good. Let me plug this thing back in. I've never run into this before. I hope I didn't just break my ECM. Here's the warning screen. Don't touch it while driving. Gotcha. This tool is in recovery mode. So we did that last time and it failed. So let's go no the support menu. I didn't find anything in that support one that looked good. So we're just gonna keep going with this and see what happens. Okay, that's new. No ECUs detected. Please tap continue. That's very strange. Okay, I'm gonna take the Intune back to the laptop, run the update agent again, make sure this thing is good, and then we'll come back. Okay, right when I said that, it woke up and started to restore the backup file. I did disconnect the battery and let it sit for a second and then plugged it back in. So maybe the ECM just kind of froze up. It's at least not saying it's in fail mode or whatever, so that's good. Tune vehicle, ensure it's in the run position. It is. Okay, we're gonna do advanced tune. Install custom tunes. Do you want this? Yes. It'll now read a backup file. Yes. So case in point, 100% why it needs to do a backup file. It had a backup to put in the car, and hopefully we're going to be okay. Backup PCM, exporting the file. I don't want to do this twice if I don't have to, so I'm going to go ahead and modify the parameters. All right, let's see what happens. There's the tune at the bottom. That's a good sign. Okay, tuning complete. Let's see if it starts this time. Woo, you scared me a little, Diablo. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, Diablo is a good tool, but it's a basic tool. I've never run into this issue before. I've never had it say failed the tune. But just unhooking the battery and putting it back on worked. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching.